What's up? Looks like we're live. Thursday now, right? Yeah, Thursday, August 26th. I get confused sometimes. I start forgetting what day it is. Uh, but thank you everybody for who's in here early, checking it out. Justin said Coach overslept. Absolutely, I did. I woke up a little late, and then I had to, restart my computer because I remember how bad the stream looked the other day, and so I was trying to get things going. Having some trouble with my computer, but haven't had any coffee yet. I got a nice cup I just went and made. Just waiting for it to cool off a little. Looks like Lisa's in the house. What's up? Good morning. Ego, Pete. Uh, Nick says, morning, guys. Going to be an interesting day. Yeah, I mean, I think it could really, go either way. If we haven't been getting pinned at max pain for the last 3 months, I would expect a green day today. Just because, I know yesterday might have been a little discouraging when, let me zoom in on this, seeing that red after we kind of broke through 9 and we're holding up there. But if you kind of zoom out and look where we were just 3 days ago, we started on Friday at 766. Even if you, look as low as we were last Thursday, just 1 week ago, we were at 744. So, I mean, it's been a nice steady growth up. And anytime you get 10% in a day, you should kind of expect a little bit of pullback. We didn't give too much back yesterday. But again, now we're going to be battling that max pain number, which I thought yesterday morning was going to take us to 850. Just based on the option chain. Turns out I was wrong. It looks like from what I'm seeing right now, it's still $8. So we're still holding well above that, but I do think that holding 850 is going to be huge for us. I'm going to check Swaggy Stocks just to see if they're reporting something different than MaximumPain.com. So MaximumPain.com is still reporting $8 as of this morning. And Swaggy Stocks, I haven't looked at in a while, but I just want to see if there's any sort of difference here. No, it's still showing 8. So what I was talking about was, if you look at the option chain, it looks like even more so now after yesterday's volume got mixed in. And I don't know how well you guys could see this, but at the 850 strike, 16,000 calls versus 3,000 puts. This is huge. If we can just continue to hold 850 today and tomorrow, this will be, basically the first time we get, a ton of calls expiring in the money in a long time. I mean, since early June, as far as I can remember. But if we can get above 9, 21,000. Okay, so that's 2 million shares. I don't know why. Let me see here. I think every time I keep forgetting to save this. So every time I restart my computer, there we go. Delta. The delta right now on those 2 million shares is only 0.35. So there's still a lot of hedging left there too. If again we can get over $9 and hold it. Let's see. 6-8 Spindrift in the house. What's up? Louis, good morning. Big Nate in the house. KLF, good morning. Was starting to worry about you. Nah, I mean, I was up. I think I got up. Usually lately, I've just been waking up on my own around 4 o'clock. And this morning, I woke up at like 4:40. And then I was kind of, I got to get this going, restart my computer, make some coffee, just kind of trying to get everything in order before we jumped on. Your pal Al, what's up? Good morning. Has put me in, coach. I'm ready to trade. Tim, I already said what's up to Justin. Scotty, what's up? Good morning, Scotty. Tomorrow's Friday. Should be a lot of fun. Cuckoo Bird, what's up? Clover Nation, Present Minds. Your pal Al says screen and mic are perfect. Right on. I'm glad. That's good to hear. I'm glad we finally got it all figured out. Sir Lucky Charms, Kamal, what's up, guys? JG, good morning. Josh says, I think we would go down 6%. I don't know why. I just got a feeling used to getting pooped on. Yeah, that's what I mean. The volatility, I'm kind of used to it, but I don't know. Something feels a little bit different about this week. And I mean that in the sense of, if it's like, even if nothing's going to happen huge, between today and tomorrow, I still feel like we're going to finish off the week, significantly positive. Like, 850 would be significant. Closing above 9 would be even better. But I do think, we're going to gain a little momentum this week, and potentially next week could be a bigger push, but the main thing right now, I think, is breaking above that max pain and holding it. This isn't by any means the first time we've gotten up here during the week. 2 weeks ago we were, when we had the earnings call, that might have been 3 weeks ago now, we actually opened up a day at 10, and they were able to push us back down, moving into expiration on Friday. So something feels a little different though. Michael, what's up? Good morning. JJ. Scotty says, I expect them to attack the living piss out of the stock this morning. Mikey in DC, morning coach. Can I ask a dumb question? Your stream is very clear this morning, but other streams I watch under settings has a 1080p HD setting, and your stream doesn't. Yeah, so I think, because I didn't really mess with my settings too much. I think it was just like I was saying, my computer wasn't, I get in the bad habit of just kind of like letting my computer, leaving it on, and that slows it down, especially when I leave like my trading software just on all day long and don't restart it, don't turn it off. And so I think it just slows my computer down. Then you mix in the streaming software, and now it just starts lagging. And if it's running slow, it's going to automatically lower, my frame rate while I'm recording. That's my thoughts, because I didn't do anything different yesterday other than restart the computer. That's it. So I just got to remember to do that every day. Lisa says, good morning and welcome to the new peeps. We're glad you're here. Absolutely. Always good to build up that CLOV family. Biker Dan, what's up? Good morning. Holiday Option, good morning. Skip, what's up? Turts McGurts, good morning. Dennis D, I think I'm almost okay. I finally got caught up. Pat, good morning. Kamal says, Coach, if you zoom out, you'll see the same pattern over and over. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I mean, it's been basically, what's this, a 20-day chart? It's kind of hard with all my lines on there. But yeah, we rise up, we get hammered down. We rise up, get hammered down. Rise up, hammered down, up to 10 that one time, back down. Then they got us below 7 last week. We're finally trading back above it. I agree with you. I mean, it's been 3 months of dealing with this now, and it does get frustrating, but I know we've talked about it before too. For me, still a steal. It was a steal last week below 8. It's a steal right now at 860. So just to me, just continue to load up and keep adding on. That's all I've been trying to do. And hopefully make a little money off some of my little side plays, so that I can keep adding on while we're in these lower numbers. Let's see here. Sorry, I just realized I don't have my my trading software loaded up. Speaking of which, D Worm, what's up, Worm? KLF, interesting question. If you were to buy a CLOV option, what strike and expiration would you target? There's two different ways of looking at it. Like for me, let me get that out of the way. Am I gambling on, potential squeeze, based on that theory that we were talking about, that we're going to see some movement before September 9th? That I would say still looks to be playing out. Like if you look at all the memes and everything, because if I'm doing something like that, I'm just looking to gamble and I'm throwing a little bit of cash. If I was going to do that, I would probably go to September 10th, because, that whole thing has to do with September 9th. But knowing that this is a bet and come in here because these are cheap, but still prices all that in, maybe somewhere in here, and then it becomes a matter of how safe you want to be. To me, I would probably go safe wise at the $8 strike, only because that seems to be the max pain level. Hopefully by then we can break above there. You're still going to lose, though. You're still paying $1.16 for an $8 strike, which means you need to be above $9.16 by September 10th. But that's the whole play, right? Or I would maybe go out a little bit more and say, okay, this is a bet that I'm just banking on the squeeze, and now I can get 10 of these $15 strikes for the same price that I can get one $8 strike. But that's more along the lines of placing a bet. If I wanted to place real options strategy to maybe leverage my money and get a little bit further out, I would probably go with January. That prices us 150 days out, and definitely go in or at the money. I mean, I would expect we're holding this stock for another 3 months, into January, that we would be above 8. I would expect we would be above 10, but maybe coming in here with this $7 strike, it's 325. That means by January you need to be trading above 10 for it to really be worthwhile, but it gives you a ton of time, 148 days. And the reason I look at stuff like this is okay, so right now, for the same price that you can get 100 shares, you could buy these and give you 300 shares. Safer would be going with actual leaps way out here to January 2023. And again, I like to go at the money with my leaps. Usually if I'm placing a bet, then I'll kind of go, out here with the cheap ones, and if the squeeze happens during my bet time, I'm going to get paid huge. If not, the money's gone. But I would, if I was going to do any options, I guess, we could look through every single chain. The only thing I would do is probably just go a little bit in the money, try to stay at that $8 strike, the $7.50 strike, somewhere like that, to kind of protect yourself. But it's going to give you dollar for dollar movement if we start moving up. Big House says, if you hear that early, you for sure need to smash that like button. Yeah, I agree with you. Let's see. Pat, just got to know what we hold. Ridiculous that such a great company is trading this low, but we're all going to be laughing this time next year. Yeah, and that's why I was saying too, that kind of gets me to the point of options, right? You got to know that if you're playing anything short term, by September 10th, that's an absolute bet. I know me and Ghost talked about it yesterday, but I wouldn't sell any shares to go buy options like that, because there's a huge possibility, that nothing's going to happen by September 10th, right? So, these are bets. It's just like going to a sports book and, laying some money down on your favorite team. They have a 50% chance of losing. You know what I mean? It is what it is. But if you're looking at building a long-term position and using options to do it, I've done that plenty of times. Leverage my cash, and then I would just maybe go closer to the money. Really what I like to look at with pretty much all my options plays, no matter what strike I'm at, no matter what chain I'm at, I like to look at the delta, and usually I won't go with the delta that's lower than 0.2. So a lot of times I'll look at a 0.25 delta. So wherever the 0.25 is, so this is December, 0.25 would be the $20 strike. But that's still a little risky. That means it's got a 25% probability of landing in the money, in a sense. So again, you're going to get closer to 50 the closer you get to at the money. So, if you want to increase your odds, go a little bit further, maybe here, you have a 49% chance that it'll hit $11 by December 17th. Now that's just probability based on that doesn't take into account anything else that's going on with the stock. Those are just numbers based on the open interest, like what the market is predicting. If you were going to buy one stock this week, what would it be? I'm assuming you mean not, besides CLOV, because I still think CLOV is the buy. And that's the thing. Like I've been talking about these other stocks and everything else, and kind of, these are just plays that I'm using with my dry powder to kind of build up my position. But I mean, definitely CLOV. I have been checking out SPRT, and it looks really intriguing. Um, DraftKings has been on a little bit of a run. I'm already in on it, but I don't know if I would jump in right now after it's been so hot over the last 3 or 4 days. I would maybe wait for some sort of pullback. It's trading at 60. I want to say it started the week at 50. I do think DraftKings is on its way up into the 80s, in the next couple months here. But I think you might be able to get a better entry point. It's probably going to, fall back a little. That's just natural with the stock. So if I was going to jump in there, you never want to buy into the rips, right? You want to wait for a little bit of a pullback to jump into a stock. Yeah, I don't know. Squeeze plays. I think I really truly believe in that theory. I really think that it's going to pan out. I think we're seeing the opening stages of it. I made that video the other night. I think GameStop is probably on its way to 350. Who knows what's going to happen once it hits 350? AMC, I don't know enough about their option chain to know, and their float size to really be able to predict if they're going to hit a gamma squeeze. But I still, yesterday my inclination was that AMC was probably going to be the biggest mover first out of these three, just based on the price action I was seeing and everything else. And I still think that if all three of these pop, including BlackBerry and everything else, and all the memes start moving again, right now it still kind of feels like AMC is options wise primed to make the biggest run first. That doesn't mean that these other ones aren't going to go higher. Maybe they will, maybe they won't. It just seems like this one might be ready to pop first. That's just my, what I'm looking at. Yesterday I grabbed some more AMC options, and added a couple more to my GameStop. My CLOV position's already insane, so I've just kind of left that one the way it is right now. Let's see. Shaw says, "Hey coach, what's up? Hope you're doing good." Andy says, "Good morning. Thinking of buying at the bell, but I know if I do, it will drop." If we're talking about buying shares and adding on to our position and everything, this is one of those ones where, it obviously it depends on everybody, right? Like what's your overall goal? Like for me with my CLOV shares, I know what the company's worth. I know I have an idea of where I think it could be years from now, being at triple digits. And, is there really a difference between, getting in at, let's say, 873 right now and getting in at 840 if they happen to hammer it down there? That's the way I kind of look at it with CLOV. Like all of this is a steal, right? If you're not looking to like day trade it or anything, the difference of 10 cents or 20 cents, might seem significant now, but if we're trading at, $70 next week, not really a big difference. If you're holding long term and we're trading at $150 a year from now, not really a big difference. So I think it just depends, where you're at with what you're looking to do with the investment. Joseph with the super sticker again. Thank you, man. You're too kind. I think that's like the third day in a row. I appreciate it for real. I really do. That's awesome. Let's see here. Where did I got lost in the chat? I got burned gambling on those $9 820 calls. Lesson learned the hard way. Yeah, Pat. I don't know when you bought them. I mean, so for me, that's why I said like if I'm betting, right, and I wouldn't place a bet that anything was going to happen this week, with only 2 days left. But look at the price difference, right? So, I'm back on AMC. Let me pull this back over. So, CLOV. All right. So, if we're looking at CLOV, right? If you were gonna, you thought something. I mean, one, I wouldn't place anything on August 27th, but just because there's only 2 days away. But this is where it's more of a gamble, right? So if you're just gambling on a straight up squeeze, like I think there's going to be a squeeze by September 10th. Um, you can come out here and get these for $15 and buy a couple of them, and that gets you a little bit more leverage, a little bit more action in the game, but you don't want to go crazy with it, right? Like for me, if I have 100 shares valued at $860, what's throwing $15 in? So I throw $15 over here. Yeah, it could have bought me 2 more shares of Clove, but it's a straight up bet. If we don't squeeze by September 9th, I lost $15, but if we do, now I'm getting the price action of not just 100 shares, but 200 shares, right? Once we cross 15, I'm getting the price movement of 200 shares up to whatever we end up hitting, $30, $50, $70, who knows? But I just doubled my profits for a very minimal fee, and that's the way I like to look at it. But they're bets, and you don't want to go crazy with them. Let's see, 7-leaf clover. What's up? Good morning. Philip, I'll come right back to that question. I just want to come over here. KLF, right on. Thank you for the super sticker. Appreciate it. Thank you everybody for the support. For real, I really appreciate it. So Philip says, it's still your thought that max pain level is around 850. That's what I thought. Like I really thought, like looking at this option chain, looking at all the open interest we saw at 850 compared to, basically nothing at the put level. I thought this max pain level would probably move up to 850, to where they want us to close between 8 and 850. Now, I would imagine that's still what they're trying to do, but we didn't see the max pain level move up. So, I mean, a market maker for sure would want to drop this price to 849. That's my assumption, just because of they don't want us closing above 850. But for us, we really would love to get above 9, and obviously higher than that. But figured 9 wasn't much of a gamble. Yeah, I mean, if I was going to go short term in the money, like try to play safe, and I know I did this last week. I talked about it on the show yesterday. I bought in when we dipped down, and I bought some 750 calls. And that's because to me, I was like, well, shit, even if max pain is at, 8, I should see some growth from here. Maybe we close at 790. Maybe we break max pain and we get to 850. But, if I can get in at I think it was that day we dipped down to 740. I bought some 750 calls for like 10 cents a piece. So I mean, now it was like, okay, well, if we get above 750, because now if you think about the way options work, right? If I bought the 750 strike for 10 cents, I just need the price to get to 760 to be profitable. Anything above 760 is all profit. I'm sorry, 760 to break even. Anything above there's profit. So that's why it's hard when you're dealing with short-term options to like really come in and say, okay, the $9 strike for this week, it's so cheap. Well, it's cheap because it's going to be hard to get there. I mean, we've kind of seen that too. But no, I mean, don't get me wrong though, Pat. I loaded up some options for 820 as well. And I'll continue to do that if we if we come around and all of a sudden the November option chain or the October option chain, or there's a specific date that's really loaded up, I'm still going to throw a couple $100 in there at it because it pays off. It really does. I mean, to each their own. Everybody do what you want to do, but you just got to go in with the mindset that I might do this 10 times and it only hits once, but that one time is going to pay off. But you got to keep that in mind. That means you can't, throw your entire account or half your account into one of these plays because they're super high risk. So that's why I say, just a little fraction, like 1% of your account or less, something like that. That's what I usually like to do. Michael says, did YouTube change the like button? Let's see. I don't know. Your pal Al says, say hi to Andrew Toy and the rest of the CLOV board. They were watching in the boardroom. They would not miss you live for the world. Ego says, likes leaps 2023s and 2024s. That being said, 5% of my portfolio. Yeah. Pete, yeah, we'll get to the institutional stuff right now. Let me catch up on the chat because I got way behind here. Ecom, what's up? Good morning. Let's see here. Heard coach say a few times, say your calls on Wednesday if they're in the money. Yeah, I mean, anytime like something expires that week, especially with the way these things have been rolling, if you're up big on Wednesday, I would just look to cut it and get out. I mean, because we've seen the way that they're able to attack the stock Thursday and Friday. I mean, anything can happen. We could continue to roll, but at that point, you kind of got to go with the trend, take your profits, have some cash on the side. If we dip, now you can buy more shares or maybe, roll it into some other options for the next week and just kind of trade a little like that, while still holding your shares or building your position. Let's see here. Oh, Christina Ridge joined the channel membership. Right on. I gotta thank you, Christina. I appreciate it. That's awesome. I was actually gonna talk about that because I don't even think I've mentioned it since last week when I started it up. But thank you so much. I appreciate the support. It looks like Pat dropped a super chat. Thank you, Pat. Really appreciate it too. So with the membership, I just saw Christina did the membership. Thank you so much. So the way that works is I just set it up. I mean, some people were asking a couple weeks ago, how could we support your channel? Do you have a Patreon or, any other thing that we could do? And so I went through the YouTube and I set up this channel membership. It's $5 a month. I wish I had more to offer, but right now I put on there, there's a couple perks that are in there. One, like if I get a merchandise store up, I'll put some discounts. If I eventually I want to get it to a point to where like if I put a video out, members get to see it first. You get like a special icon for the chat. And then on top of that, the last thing that I think is going to be really cool and I'm really excited about because I do want to offer something to members is maybe like a members only live stream that we do in the evenings, twice a month, where like a Chalk Talk series where we can come in and like if you guys watch some of the Chalk Talk videos and you have extra questions and it's more of like a one-on-one or, if there's only 10 people on the stream and that way I could really answer all the questions and get to everything and try to help everybody out. So that's what I'm looking to do. So that is in there. If you guys are interested in supporting the channel, it's I think you go on the front page and you click the join button. But again, thank you, Christina. Thank you everyone who joined last week. I really appreciate it. VN, good morning. Good to hear your voice. Right on. Yeah, I got the mic fixed. I think I got the stream fixed. It looks like everything's working out. Crypto, what's up? The family. All right, I'm gonna try to catch up now, guys. And then if I skip over something, I'm not doing it on purpose. If it was like an important question or something, throw it back in there, and I'll try to get back to it. D, what's up? Noar. When's this Jackhole meeting start? I think. What time is that this morning? Yeah, I'm not sure on the time. All right, so we kind of looked at the option chain. I just want to, kind of go over some of the some of this, the daily stuff we're always looking at. So it looks like a lot of that volume converted over into open interest. It gives us the opportunity to kind of, push the stock up higher. While we're on that, we could see how TRADYTICS updated the entire chain just to see if anything significant popped out. We went over this gamma exposure yesterday, and I kind of showed the difference between AMC, GameStop, and CLOV, and you could tell that the options on AMC are a little bit more primed right now. But that doesn't mean we're not going up. It's just when we got into the this same type of situation 3 months ago, all these stocks moved up, right? But then some of them caught gamma squeezes and went even higher. CLOV being one of them, AMC being one of them, went way higher in relation percentage-wise than, GameStop did, or then BlackBerry did, or some of these other stocks. And I think a lot of that was attributed to the option chain. And that's why I keep looking at it, because if we do get a big push and pushes us into this gamma squeeze territory, how high can we go? So right now, it looks like the 10 picked up a lot. 10 is the biggest strike now in the entire chain. It was the 15 yesterday. So we got 80,000 calls here. That should make it a little bit easier for us to really get this thing started if we can get past there. If you remember, I was talking about yesterday, we get past 9 and 10. Maybe by the time we get to 12, these come into play and give us that boost to 15. 15 is where we really want to cross. Now 10 is looking pretty exciting. Still not a lot going on here, though. So I don't know how much of this has the potential to get us past 43. When you're looking at those type of things, you want to see a succession of open interest so that it'll keep carrying. Chart exchange, I want to check that out too, because yesterday we did see a lot of downward pressure. Actually, let's look at Ortex first, because anyone who's been following the channel for a while, I know I keep on talking about this 61 million number. That was the highest number that I had ever seen for CLOV in terms of shares on loan. And I was kind of speculating that, maybe there wasn't 61 available anymore. Like institutions bought up, retail bought up, and weren't willing to lend those out. That's obviously not the case. So this time we're at 63 million. This is the new high. This is the most shares that I've seen on loan for CLOV ever. 63 million here. Cost to borrow is up to 2.52. It looks like the average is 4.2 now as of today. Utilization's at 99. Yeah. That's our numbers right now. Hard to know what's still out there, though, right? It's showing us 63, but that's the highest we've seen. There could still be more out there. Target short sellers, what's up? Good morning. What's going on? Let me see if I could find... Here, while I'm pulling that up, we can also look at the dark pool data. So this is from yesterday. 46% came through the dark pool. Kind of, a drop from the previous 2 days of 52 and 51%, but that's still a pretty decent, significantly high number. When you're talking about all the volume that's coming into a stock in a day, almost half of it getting routed through the dark pool where it has absolutely no effect on the stock price. Institutional filings for CLOV, not a ton. We saw this, I think, on Monday, that it got added into the S&P healthcare ETF. Then this looks like 2 days ago, Principal Healthcare Innovators ETF bought about 20,000 shares. And yesterday, it looks like Defiance Next Gen SPAC ETF actually dumped some shares. They got rid of 83% of their shares. So yeah, not a lot happening with the institutional filings. We saw a ton of it, for the past 2 to 3 weeks. But nothing, no big changes there. I want to see one last thing. Sir Lucky Charm says Target short sellers mentioned seeing a cup and handle forming. Man, um, Michael, if you're watching right now, still, I know you just comment in the chat. Man, I haven't had time to watch any videos lately. Um, and usually I'm like, I have the bell notification turned on for you whenever you drop a video. I don't care what I'm doing, I'm watching it. But I've been getting home from football practice around 6. Make dinner, kind of hang out with the kids, try to get them in bed by like 8:30. And then I'm usually falling asleep, around 9. So I've been like so busy lately. It's been a little ridiculous, but I haven't really had time, and I haven't really settled in at school yet. So, I think once I get settled in there, I'll be able to find some time even during the day to keep catching up. But if you guys haven't, check out Target Short Sellers. He puts out some great videos covering CLOV. I think his channels, if you search in Target Short Sellers, you pull it up. Another good one to check out in the evenings. Moto Guzzy just said Champion Vibes. He live streams every night, and he actually he does some TA not just on CLOV but on other plays too. I know he called out AMC, getting ready for another pop last week, I think. And he's been finding some other cool stuff. Really sharp dude. Champion Vibes is another one to check out. Also, while I'm at it, Tar Heel Blue, that's my boy. Make sure you guys go check him out. He's streaming every afternoon for Power Hour. I think he's got new guests on every day. I think Ghost is going to be coming on Tar Heel today. So, I think that's going to be their Thursday thing now. So absolutely go check out Tar Heel. Pat says these numbers really do suggest that they're genuinely out of their minds, fixing to get Melvined. Yeah. I think, Degenerate talked about this on the Clove Roundtable on Sunday night, and he was just talking about the money, right? Like, if you already have a major short position and then the option chain continues to be loaded up the way it is, you get into this point to where it's like, if I cover, as I'm covering, I'm going to propel this thing past 9, and all of a sudden it's going to lose control and just take off to 17. And so I think their mindset is like, I would rather, burn another $5 million to prevent losing 500 million if the option chain runs wild. And so they're just like continuously just burning money to suppress the price, to not let the thing take off and explode. Lisa says, did you see the Twitter issue last night? Someone is impersonating the original Clove Nation on Twitter. So I did not see it, but I did get the message in the Discord when it happened. I was at football practice and I saw it pop up on my phone. I don't even take my phone out when I'm there. And by the time I got out of football practice, I jumped on Twitter and saw that I think they changed. So they changed the Twitter account for Clove is the Clove subreddit, not Clove itself. They changed it to official rClove. But yeah, someone was impersonating them. Let's see here. There we go. So the official Twitter account is official _ rClove. That's for the subreddit. But yeah, somebody was impersonating last night. Created I think it was called like rClove1 or something, and they were I didn't see any of the tweets though. Let's see here. Fred says you're live on Reddit. Wow, I didn't even know that was a thing. And live on Facebook. Okay. That's awesome. Mike says, Lisa, what happens with Every stock guy I follow on Twitter, they constantly get fraud accounts. They have to ban it. Yeah, yeah. If anything, if people are impersonating you, that's just telling you you're doing something right. Lisa says they're putting out some disinformation. Blah blah's in the house. What's up? Everybody say what's up to blah blah. He's one of the mods for the CLOV subreddit. Speaking of which, so yeah, definitely drop some love for blah blah. Let's see. Josh says, I mean, they're doing the suppression because of low volume. We will not rock it with this kind of volume. Not necessarily true, Josh. So the reason I say that is this. I know everybody like low volume to an extent is somewhat healthy too. It just depends what type of volume, right? So obviously everyone correlates these big movements with these big volume days. Like the day that we ran up ridiculously, we had 700 million in volume, which was insane because at the time, that was almost like 6 times our float. But what happens is, and I'll use GameStop as a reference just because it's got a little bit more to work with here, right? But let me get rid of all my. If we take a look at GameStop, you have a ton of volume out here. But this is back in January and February. Look at how much this volume has dropped off in comparison. I mean, it's almost like where you can't even see it compared to these big days up here. Now, some of the biggest days. So look, way back in January, you were looking at volume, just to give you some numbers: 197 million, 178 million. And you had some pretty significant jumps. We also saw, a jump right here from 170 to 200. That's pretty damn significant, almost 30%, something like that in a day off the top of my head. Only 63 million volume. We come out here to this other big jump where it went from 180 to 220 in one day. 14 million volume. And then if we come over here to the most recent jump, this huge one the other day, 30%, 165 to 225, only 14 million in volume. And it's been getting a lot of movement off even lower volume lately. Look, this is only 1.3 million from 159 to 167. But I guess so. When you see a lot of volume, yes, that can absolutely move a stock. But when volume starts drying up, all that means is nobody's buying, no one's selling. Like everyone's kind of already got their position in place. So to me, in a stock like GameStop, a stock like CLOV, anything like that, what we're really looking at is short sellers are running out. Everyone's buying, everyone's holding, and so you're seeing the volume dry up. But then what ends up happening? When someone is forced to buy, when any sort of buying pressure comes in, when volume's low, it's going to give us a more significant increase. And so, volume drying up isn't necessarily bad to me in a squeeze play and something like this. It's kind of a good thing. We're seeing, when we saw this volume dry up leading into the big explosive move we saw this week, even, right? I mean, volume didn't start picking up until last week, but we got down to these days of, like, for CLOV, again, much bigger float than GameStop, where we had like a 7 million day, a 9 million day. But we are trending back up volume wise. I mean, we hit 37 million the other day, 26 million yesterday, so it's coming back. But no, I wouldn't use volume as your only indicator, because we can have big movements either way, I guess is what I'm trying to get at. SRT, what's up? Good morning. Noah says, I'm so used to LFG meaning looking for group. What does it mean in the stock world? It means let's effing go. It's not necessarily a stock thing. It's just I think an acronym for let's go. Let's see. We need an upgrade, then volume, then rocket. Yeah, I'm glad you brought up the upgrade too, Justin, because you know, we've been kind of discussing this a little bit, like JP Morgan, Morgan Stanley, Jeffries, Credit Suisse, all these people who had originally gave these bullshit you know, analysis targets like $9, $10 for CLOV, who at the time had short positions in the stock. I know some of them did, Citi and B of A and a lot of the other ones. So, of course, they're downgrading it, right? But now we've seen a bunch of those people turn around and flip the script and go long. So I would imagine it's only a matter of time before they start putting real price targets on this and try to ride it back up with us. Out of the corner of my eye right now, I just saw SPRT. I know some of you guys are in that play, popping big time. Wow. Closed yesterday at 1396. I don't know what just happened here, but right when 6 a.m. hit, jumped from 1450 to 1545. I was just sitting here talking. I got it up on my charts here from the other day when you guys were telling me to check it out. Milan, what's up? Supporting coach in the Clove Army or Clove every morning. Let's go. Co-creators in the house, getting up late. What's up, co-creator? Charlie B, good morning. Faith in the house. Good morning, coach. Thanks for keeping us informed. Happy Thursday, Clove fam. Pump up the volume. Let's do it. Robert, Sacktown's finest. What's going on? Looks like we're starting to get some movement too. Looking at Clove, we did hit as low as 856, but we are starting to trend upwards. Not like SPRT is, but we're starting to move a little bit right now. Hopefully we can get back above VWAP. I would imagine by the time we open here, we'll probably be back close to around 870. But anyone who's joining late, one of the things I mentioned earlier was like, yeah, I know some people were frustrated with yesterday because it's like, we get all that green and it's like, man, we're gonna keep going, but red days happen. It's part of it, right? I mean, if you look at even just during a climb, I'll just show just this little amount, right? You go up, you get some reds, you go up, you get some reds, any sort of. So, it's not that much different when you take it day by day and look at daily candles. It's like, this is nice and healthy. We came down here, tapped 741. We're trending up. This is on the daily chart now. And yeah, we're going to get a little bit of red and pull back, and then we're going to start stair stepping our way up some more. That's the way I look at it, at least. Options chain aside, if we just want to look at this from like more of a technical standpoint, I would say we definitely want to break this high that we saw back on August 12th. That would be our next one, which also kind of lines up with the option chain. Like I said, I think the $9, the $9.50, the $10, the $10.50, all those strike prices that exist on the chain are going to be resistance levels as we continue to go up. But just from a technical standpoint, looking at the chart, we definitely want to break over this level. That we've kind of gone up there twice now and been hammered back down. So we want to get above that. I go, just finished my breakfast. Let's get it. Coach, do future calls, puts, transfer when a stock merges with another and the ticker changes? When it merges, I've never been involved in a merger where I was holding options, so I'm not sure. I've been involved in stock splits. I've been involved in dividends. Any of that stuff, usually it does. So I would imagine that it would probably do the same on a merger too. I know recently MMAT merged with I would imagine they would carry over. but your value might change. And then again, I don't know this for fact. This is just my speculation. Like, I would imagine that they would merge it over, and then if you were looking at the chain, um, let's say we were looking at the chain right here, you would end up with like something a little bit off. Like, let's say somebody merged with CLOV and they came in, at a you would see like an extra strike price in here, or something different on the chain. Like, you'd have August 20th CLOV or August 27th CLOV, and then you'd have August 27th CLOV dash whatever, like the merger, and then they would be in there too. So I would think they would just carry it over, just because that's what it seems to happen. Like I said, with stock splits and everything else, that the stuff, they always carry the stuff over. If you have a stock, let's say you had, I'll use GameStop as an example because it's trading so high right now. You had GameStop at 20, right now it's trading at 200. You had the $300 call, let's say, and the stock did a 10-to-1 split and split down to $20 a share. So now anyone who held shares gets 10 shares for every one they held. The same thing would happen with your options contract. Your options contract would go from a $300 strike down to the $30 strike, and instead of holding one contract, you would now be holding 10. So they split those things all the same. Same thing when you see dividends get released, all that kind of stuff. But I've never been involved in a merger while holding options, so I can't tell you from experience. I am going to look that up, though. Philly Phil, pullbacks are definitely healthy. New buyers come in and support gets formed. Yeah, I mean, that's kind of what I was mentioning about DraftKings this morning, too. Like, I wholeheartedly believe DraftKings is going above 80 in the next couple months. I really do. But I wouldn't add on to my position right now with it at 60 because it's been running so hot, So for me, and I don't want to add on to my position because I've already got it there. Now, say this: if CLOV squeezes tomorrow and I'm able to take a little profits off, I'm going to look to roll some of that profits into DraftKings. But if I was going to do it, because 80 isn't like CLOV. Like with CLOV, we're talking about you get in at $8. This thing's going to triple at least, quadruple at least. That's what I believe. And that's where I think like pennies don't matter. But when you're looking at something like DraftKings, I think it's going to at least hit 80. It's got a lot more room, but that's only, a 30% gain. And so for that, I would rather wait after it just went on this nice green run. My expectation would be the same thing where it's going to pull back down maybe to like here to like $54. And now I could load back in and maximize my gains a little bit more. But anytime you see any sort of stock, I mean, there are stocks, don't get me wrong, that will just keep going green after green after green. But, even looking back here on a previous DraftKings run, green, red, red, giving you a bunch of more opportunities, bounces off a moving average, comes up, and then you see it kind of pull back again before eventually rising up even higher. So, I mean, that's just the nature of the stock market. You're always going to get pullbacks. They're healthy. And that's that whole RSI too, right? Which, by the way, what's our RSI like on the daily right now? We're not even close. RSI is bullish. It's above 50. Everything's looking bullish right now from a technical standpoint. But yeah, RSI is not oversold. I was going to say that comes into play sometimes too. When your stock starts running too hot and your RSI gets above 70, then you're really looking for a cool off. But we're not there yet on the daily chart for CLOV. Looks like on a 4-hour chart we kind of got a little hot the other day. But now we're cooling back off at 56, so we're ready for another run. Co-creator says, let's start a new acronym. There you go. Oh, you saying LG? Ride is up 20% with an announcement of new CEO. Our CEO announcement is coming soon. CLG. FO for CLOV, but yes. Oh, you guys already caught that in the chat. Noir says today's going to be volatile. MMAT had a 2-for-1 with Torch. After merger, there was an MMAT 2. Okay, yeah. So it basically, so I would imagine they brought over those new options, kept the old ones until the chain ran out, and then they'll probably just go with one ticker after that. And Freak, what's up? I was late this morning too. Not as late as you, but I signed on a little late this morning as well. But thank you for joining. I really appreciate it. TMB, typical morning bullshit. I like that one, co-creator. I'm gonna start using that. Matter of fact, I might, with co-creator's permission, maybe that'll be my first shirt for my merchandise store. We'll make a TMB shirt. I really like that because that's what we end up experiencing every morning. You know, we always joke how like when I'm on here, we see nothing but red, and then Tar Heel gets all the green. So I get all the TMB. But you know what's funny? Not funny, but I gave Tar Heel a little shit yesterday because I was at work. I haven't been able to watch, you know, his stream or as much anymore because I've been working. But so yesterday I texted him while I was at work after I looked at my phone and my portfolio and everything, and I'm like, man, you had a pretty rough power hour, huh? Because yesterday was rough. I mean, that's when we saw the biggest drops, right? I mean, it looked like, you know, we were looking good. We were above 9. You know, once earlier in the day, kind of came up here, got above 9 again, came up here, got above 9 again, and then this power hour here was, man. But volatility, you know, it comes with the territory. Robert says 115 people in the chat. Hit that like button. I just like it. I'm gonna come up with a shirt now, a TMB shirt. That I don't know. I'm not. I feel like I can be creative when I want to be, but sometimes it just takes me a while to get going. I've been trying to think of like, I should do a little merchandise store, you know, or something like that. But then I start thinking about what I want to put on there, and it's like, I'll do it later. 63 million shares borrowed on CLOV, and Morgan Stanley picked up almost 10 million shares. I did not see the 10 million from Morgan Stanley. Let me go back and look. Is that new or... We did see 63 million borrowed though. So unless something changed, I was looking if there's an update. So Morgan Stanley picked up 820,000 shares. But still, yeah, we saw Morgan Stanley pick up shares. Jeffries, you know, got in on some calls. I know, like if we scroll way down, like Credit Suisse, a lot of the analysts did come in and pick up calls and shares and increase their position in CLOV right now. But yeah, for those of you guys that are maybe joining, missed a little bit earlier when I went over Ortex, you know, back in June, and I've always referenced this, like, you know, you never know how many shares are out there, and we still don't know how many shares are out there because we're retail and they don't give us accurate data. But based on what Ortex reports, the previous high that we've ever seen for shares on loan was about 61 million. And so up until this morning, that was what I thought was like the max that the lenders that Ortex tracks can get their hands on. But we've also seen a lot more institutions buying this up, and some institutions buy it up and lend out shares. So it looks like the new high is 63 million, 99.11 utilization. So there's still a little bit of shares out there. It looks like 159,000 got borrowed today. So if today was going to end exactly like this, What would we be at, like 63.2 shares on loan? But I would imagine this is getting somewhere up near the top where they're running out. If we look at iBorrowDesk, and this is as of today, so there was 1.6 million as of last night. Now, iBorrowDesk is tracking a totally different broker, so this is, you got to remember, this is different information. Ortex tracks their own set of brokers. iBorrowDesk, I believe, tracks Interactive Brokers, just one lender. But either way, there's only 700,000 available here, so they're really running out of firepower here, is my guess. Chef Daddy's in the house. Just in for a second before bringing the youngest to kindergarten open house. Right on, man. I've been doing the same this week, with the kids and school starting and everything else. So family's got to come first. Genetic Nate, what's up? Good morning, Coach. Do you think we're going to keep seeing dark pool abuse? Yeah, I mean, until something changes. And I don't think dark pools will ever go away either. If you haven't checked out, I did do a video about market manipulation and kind of broke down actually a series of videos. There's a playlist on the channel where we kind of talk about it. But I also talked about like why dark pools are there and why they will probably always exist. They do serve a purpose. The problem is these greed takes over with anything, right? And so even if the intention of something is good, people will find a way to manipulate it and use it to, abuse the stock market, abuse retail and all that. I think that eventually throughout all this, we're going to see some sort of regulation reform, maybe some changes in how the dark pool is operated. I don't know when that's going to come, but my speculation is that there's going to be some change, but dark pools aren't leaving. They're always going to be there. Do I think CLOV is going to keep seeing dark pool abuse? Yeah, I think so. I think all these heavily manipulated stocks will continue to. But all that's doing is just, Ghost made a good analogy yesterday. He was talking about, CLOV being a 2-liter bottle of soda, and every time these people route through the dark pool, short more shares, do this, do that, they're just dropping Mentos in the bottle. Well, what happens at some point when you drop Mentos in a 2-liter of Coke? Eventually it's going to explode, right? And he's like, and they're just dropping more and more and more and more, which means the explosion is going to be even bigger and come even faster. And I believe that. I mean, I've been using the analogy of a spring, right? Like every time they do this stuff, they're just pushing the coils tighter, tighter, tighter. And eventually it's going to make that explosion more explosive. So, yeah, I think we'll continue to see it. But what we got to understand too is when they route through the dark pool, and I keep saying this, it's not like those buy orders just disappear. I know it feels that way, but that's not what's happening. Like if they're routing buy orders into the dark pool and there's no seller or there's no sellers on the other end, that means that the market maker is selling you shares that he does not own. And eventually he has to recover those shares. And right now we have the price trending upwards. So as that continues to happen, that's when they start getting into a hole. That's when they start digging themselves into a situation where they're underwater. And their whole goal is usually they don't care whether we win or lose as long as they're able to make some money off it. Well, if they're naked shorting in the dark pool to suppress the price and the price continues to go up anyways because of this influx of buying and the option chain and everything else that's going on, that's when they're going to get underwater, and that's when we're going to see that explosive movement. Abhinav, what's up? Good morning. I hope I said that right. Philly Phil in QC says like button hit. Faith says no worries, going to be a clovesome day, not financial advice. Kindergartners are my favorite. Yeah, I was joking with one of the other guys I coach with the other day. You know, he's got his kids are young right now, and I was like telling him like, yeah, you know, they right now they're crawling around and they, you know, it's like exciting when they could talk. It's exciting when they could start walking. But then you're like, man, they just need to get, you know, because then they still need that help. They're falling over, and all that. I said, really, that kind of that best age, at least for me, was like kindergarten, you know, because they're, I don't know, it's just there's something about that age. You know, they still can't do everything for themselves. You still have to help them out a lot, but um, to me, that was the most fun. I mean, obvious now my kids are a little bit older, so they're participating in sports, and there's other things that come along with it too as they get older. But you think back, like, you know, it wasn't too long ago either, maybe like 2 years ago for one and 4 years ago for the other, and kindergarten was fun. I mean, that was like when they still feel like your little babies, you know, and now they feel like they're grown up or growing up. Got you. 10 million was questions, 1 million. Okay, I got you. I got you. Leviathan says, looks like Max Payne is back in play. Yeah, so Max Payne is 8. I keep checking because I thought it was going to go to 850. I think we got to hold the line at 850. I mean, we do have, here's the thing, it's not just retail versus these big bad market makers, right? We got a bunch of institutions on our side. We have a bunch of whales on our side. That's who's moving this price. That's who's helping us get this price moving. That's who's loading up the option chain. It's not us at retail. So I would imagine that these guys are going to try to come in and hold the line for us at 850 just as much as short sellers are going to try to knock us below it. Let's see here. ADTX offering. Careful which furrow you follow. Furu. Furu you follow. What's up, DeGen? What's going on? Blah blah says, Coach, the short pool doesn't mean much right now. Not with 20 million shares on loan being held. I think I'm gonna put them buy calls when closer to 8. I mean, obviously do whatever you want, Josh, but you know, one thing that is a bullish play, but I mean, you'd have to know what you're doing. I mean, I wouldn't buy puts, me personally, betting on this going down because I mean, shit, as I'm saying that, we're spiking up. But if you really truly thought we were going to get held to Max Payne this week, I wouldn't buy puts. To me, because you're bullish on the stock, I would maybe try to sell puts, you know, and then you could put some money in your pocket. So, like for instance, you could sell, you know, the 850 put. Let's just say, you know, you're going to get 18 bucks back. So really that's making your entry price for buying more shares. It's basically lowering your entry price, right? So it's going to lower your entry price on this stock to $8.32 if we close below 850. So now if we close below 850 or right at 850, you're getting these shares for 832. If you were to sell the $8 strike, you're getting $6 back, but now that means if we close below 8, you're getting these shares for 7. That would, I wouldn't say is really worth it now. You'd want to do it earlier in the week. But if you really felt that that's what you wanted to do because you think the stock's going to go down, but you're still bullish on the stock long term, sell puts. Because, you know, let's looking out to next week. If you sell the $8 put here, you're going to get $25 back. So you're putting 25 in your pocket now, which is a pretty reasonable, I think, you know, amount of money to be able to kind of pocket a short-term percentage and profit-wise. You could put that money in your pocket. Now, if the stock rockets and takes off, you already have shares, so you don't care that the put didn't, you know, you're not getting assigned, but the stock's taking off, and you're gonna make some money anyways, and you got to keep that premium. And we can get more into. I don't want to get too much into selling puts, but I would rather do that than buy puts. But that's just me. Not financial advice with us. Expecting a run going towards September 9th. Best option strike price 15 on September 10th. Yeah, I would say if I was looking at September 10th, maybe this $13 strike. I know somebody asked me earlier and I probably said something different, but here's my reasoning behind it. The deltas point to, or I'm sorry, the ask is $20, right? So I'm paying $20 for this, and 13. There's not a huge difference between 13 and 15. You're gonna save $5 by going out to the $15 mark. But again, these are all bets, right? This is all to me. If it's gonna hit 13, it's gonna hit 15 too. Like at that point, once we cross 12, it's going. So that means it's happening. But you do get $2 extra of price action by paying $5 now to come here. Or it depends how much you're spending. Like if I was going to spend $100, okay, I can get 5 of these at the $13 strike, or I can get about 7 or 8 of these at the $15 strike. So it really it's just a straight up bet. How much money are you putting into it? You're willing to risk. And I think anywhere in there, if you have them and we run up to like $30-$40, it's a difference of $2, which essentially is $200, right? Because it's times 100 if it happens. So the deeper in the money you are, the more you're going to make off it. I don't know. Me personally, I'll tell you guys what I have. And I bought these last week, but I do have the September 10th $13 strike. Ken Lin, let's break $9 this week. Let's do it. And we're at the open right now. I didn't hear any bell. I must have had my volume down. I'm used to hearing that bell now in the morning ever since I switched to Thinkorswim. All right, I'm trying to catch up. Looks like GameStop's popping a little bit. I think they're all going to start. I mean, every single one of these plays, BlackBerry included, like all of them. And I know there's so many more out there. KOSS. I think Naked started moving yesterday. Seems like all the memes are starting to move. And to me, at least, I know I said this yesterday. I think AMC. I didn't check GameStop's options today, but AMC had the most loaded option chain as of yesterday morning. So I thought that was going to kind of be the biggest movement, at least first. And then I think a lot of what happens too is a lot of these stocks, people write up GameStop, maybe take some money out, and then they throw it into CLOV, or maybe everyone's going to ride AMC up, and then they're going to come put their money into CLOV, and that might be why we see delays. And like last time around, I think AMC hit first, and then GameStop hit a couple days, like maybe one day before CLOV. Like the timing was almost exact. But I do think they'll probably all run around the same time. I'm expecting them to all run between now and September 9th. Why does YouTube unsubscribe viewers every now and then? I have no idea about that. I've never heard of that, but I'm not sure. Okay, yeah, DKNG just had a kid not too long ago. Says I'm ready for little man to laugh and whatnot. Getting there, yeah. It's like little, I guess baby steps. Not to be, but it is. It's like they start laughing, they start doing when they're that young. Then it gets to the age where you start having to feed them, and you're getting off the bottle, or and then it's the crawling. Then, dude, from crawling to walking to running just goes by like this, and now you got to start childproofing everything in your house. Calla Lilies, what's up? Happy Thursday. Co-creators feeling good. Says we're going to see a green day, actually. Jason's buying more CLOV this morning. DJ TRADYTICS, what's up? Better late than never. At what point do short sellers say to themselves, you know what, this isn't working, we should get out and start covering? I mean, just how much money do they want to lose? Yeah, I feel you on that, co-creator. I think it's just a matter of how deep they've buried themselves into these stocks, right? No one really knows. But if there is a ton of naked shorts and there's a ton of naked shares, which I mean, the 19 million FTD, that should at least give us some inclination that there is a ton of naked short positions out there and that are still just getting kicked around. So if that really is true, it's not so much getting out, it's trying to find a decent exit strategy, right? I guess maybe they feel like if they can get momentum to die down, get retail to back off, and volume kind of, everything kind of dry out, and then they could slowly kind of trickle their way out, maybe something like that. But the problem is with the way the option chain has been, they can't afford to. Like, think about this. Let's just say you're short 5 million shares. Okay. With volume the way it is right now, when it's really low, even if you try to just sneak out and maybe just, okay, today I'm going to do 500,000 shares a day I'm going to cover. Well, just going in there and trying to cover that much, now you're increasing the price. And what happens is you're increasing the price. If you push this price any higher, let's say to 9, now you run the risk of your other 450,000 short position, or not 450, but 4.5 million in shorts really getting hammered if this stock runs up to like, $30 because the option chain kicks off. The other thing we got to remember too is a lot of these short sellers, they're not hurting right now, not in CLOV. Okay, I mean, we just got to be real about that. Like, if we zoom out on CLOV, and I'll do it on a different. We were trading at 28. We were trading at 17. We were trading at 15. A lot of these shorts could have got in way up here. Okay, and which means they're feeling no pain right now. Even anybody who shorted us at 13, they're feeling no pain right now. They're winning. Okay, we need to get the stock to go up, and that's when they'll start feeling that pain, and that's when they'll start jumping out. I mean, that's just the truth of it. So, the only shorts who maybe feeling a little bit of pressure right now are people who maybe shorted at 8. This little $8 line that I drew of kind of like our base. Anyone who was jumping on and piling in new short positions at 8, trying to get us to fall lower, yeah, this might be putting a little bit of pressure on them, but still, we're only trading at 863 right now. Really, when it comes to the short squeeze side of this play, we need to get the stock a little higher. That's going to be one thing that's going to force people out, right? Is the stock going up. The other one is cost to borrow, because even if you are ahead, let's say you were way back there and you shorted this stock back at 15 and you're in big time and you're up, everything else. Well, if cost to borrow starts increasing and cost to borrow goes up, now, in the same sense, you're going to want to exit your position, whether that be for a loss or for a profit. You're going to want to buy back those shares and get out because it's costing you more money to hold this position now. So there's a lot of factors that go into it, but I don't think that short sellers in CLOV, at least right now, not too many are underwater. SRT says not working for anyone else today to tag people in the chat. I noticed that yesterday from my phone on Tar Heels channel. I couldn't do it from my phone, but I could do it from my work computer. There we go, Josh. That's right. Shorts won't cover at these levels. We got to start getting to 11, 12 for them to start thinking. I agree with you 100%. SRT said, then they turn into teenagers and know more than you and every other professional or specialist in the world. I'm not there yet. Mine are about to be 10 and 8. So not looking forward to that, though. Risky Seeds, what's up? Good morning. Zeke for Bleak, what's going on? Ross Lowe says, to all my Clover maniacs out there, remember to say your prayers and eat your vitamins. Ross Lowe with the Hulk Hogan reference. I love it. Why didn't they jump out when we were in the 7s? Yeah, I mean, no, I get it, but I think you get to that point to where, depending on how big your position is and how big of a hole you dug into, right? You can't exit all at once. That's me. That's my speculation, at least. BTFD says, Coach, it's a matter of efficient markets. They can short LCID or a different overpriced company for 50 to 75% gains. Max they can pray for with CLOV is 5 to 10% more. Yeah, I agree with that too. Like, they're not going to be able to drive this thing down, but it's just a matter of, I guess, if they could break our will, let's say when they get us down below 8, if everybody starts panic selling and getting out, let's say everybody would have started dumping below 8. This place sucks, and just start selling all their shares and everything. Now they can afford to go cover all those naked positions and all the short interest they had. They could just cover it all up and still stay below maybe their target price. But apparently that didn't happen. They may not be feeling any pain, but also they can't cover. They're in a stuck situation. Yes. I agree with you. Look at the rug pull in SLQT. Oh, wow. Damn. What was the news behind that? Select quote term life insurance. Insane. What is this? Sorry, guys. I got way behind here. So we're looking at some green right off the bat. GameStop's trending up, AMC's trending up. I really think that all these BlackBerry, not as much. But I think it's probably gonna be another good day. I know I said this earlier. Obviously there's the whole Max Payne thing, right? So Max Payne's something that we've been dealing with for the last 3 months, but at the same time there's also this whole theory which I bought into, I believe in. At least I was willing to, throw a little extra money in case it happens. About that we're going to see this nice run up before September 9th. And so if that is going to play out, red days are natural. They come. We went on a pretty decent size run up over the last couple of days. We pulled back yesterday, and now I'd say we're ready to kind of run a little bit more. Let's see here. Ecotap says Workhorse is moving a little too. Okay. All right. Any of these stocks that are like super shorted, I don't know if that it's necessarily needs to have a meme status or anything like that, but it just seems like all of these highly manipulated stocks have been popping every 3 months. It's really starting to seem like that's the way. Hedge funds need to just stop shorting and jump on the bandwagon. I talked about that a couple weeks ago. We did see some of those short positions in CLOV flip reverse script then, where they ended up a couple weeks ago were increasing their positions and all of a sudden looking like they're going long on CLOV. So I think some of them are doing that too. And really, I don't even know why I didn't think about that a little while ago. We were talking about why didn't they just cover then? when we got down to 7. Part of it is that's what they do, right? So they shorted the stock into the ground. They got it down to, below 8. Now what they want to do is slowly build up a long position, and that way when they cover, they can make money on the way back up. Ravi said, "Did you buy GME calls?" Yes, I did. So after I made that video last week, the one about all the memes should potentially start running this week. I bought those CLOV calls that I just talked about earlier. I think it was September 10th, $13 calls. I bought some of those. And then I went in and bought some GME 350s for September 10th or September 17th. I'm sorry. And those are actually doing amazing. I got those calls for, I think, around $2 a piece, or $200. And right now they are at $962, so almost $962 per contract. So pretty significant. I got a buddy who did a lot more than that. I was talking to him on the phone, and he's like, "Oh, I'm gonna deposit more money. I'm gonna do that too." And I'm like, "Nah, don't. This is a bet. This is a small. You're just putting." And I mean, he bought 20 of those same contracts, so I'm really happy for him right now. Wouldn't encourage anybody to do that. For me, it's I always talk about it's a bet. I'm using a little bit of the money. I'm not affecting my shares at all. But then you see someone else do it and it pays off big time, and it's like, oh, why didn't I have the balls to do that? But yeah, so I did grab some GME calls too, just to kind of, again, up my position a little bit. Clove should not be a meme stock. No, I get it, but it's tied in with them. And that's the only reason I refer to it as one, because people refer to it as one. It moves with the meme stocks. The meme stocks go up, Clove goes up. Meme stocks go down, Clove goes down. At least right now. Guys, it's 6:45. I'm going to sign off. I know I've been saying every day, I've just been signing off a little early just because my kids' first week of school, I want to go see them out, make sure they got everything, make sure they have everything in their backpacks and all that kind of stuff. So while I really appreciate everybody coming in, and I hate to cut it short, make sure you guys jump on Tar Heel. Check out Tar Heel and Ghost later. Also, hit the like and subscribe button if this is your first time. If you want to support the channel, I also put a membership offer on there where you could become a monthly member of the channel, and just help the channel out. But either way, I will see you guys tomorrow. Hopefully we have a huge green day today, and tomorrow will be even more exciting. Damn it, maybe I need to start even earlier now. I just feel like we're running out of time every day. There's so much I want to talk about and get to in the chat, but I just keep running out of time. But love everybody. Thanks for coming in here. I'll see you guys tomorrow.